ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another TLEV video. So, Jose and I are very, very disappointed in how The Mummy was a terrible beginning for the Dark Universe.
Yeah.
So we decided we're gonna be a little nostalgic.
You got us thinking.
Yeah. What made the Universal monster movies so iconic? So, we decided, for all of you, that we're going to make a list of the top 5 best Universal monster movies. And yes, this does not just mean the movies that came from 1931 to late 1950s. This is any Universal monster movie, even if it was a remake or if it was based off of the same idea.
Heck yeah.
So, we haven't seen each other's lists, and of course, Josue is going to start whenever he's ready.
Alright, so my number 5 is actually going to go to 1925. I'm taking it old school.
Oh.
Phantom of the Opera.
Oh!
That's right. Now we all remember that ugly unveiling of...
Yeah.
But, you know, it's become, you know, kind of a universal icon, that you know, face of the unveiling of the Phantom of the Opera. And it's just like, it's a film that definitely, like, you have to see. Because it's like, no words, it's so strange that no words can actually explain it, if that makes sense.
No, I get it. Because, like, that was a very revolutionary film for its time. And also, a really kick-ass musical came out of it. So, go watch it. Do yourself a favor. Because I remember reading a Goosebump book all about this child ghost who wanted to be the Phantom of the Opera, but that play just didn't work at his school. He died before the play, so the Phantom of the kid became the Phantom of the Opera in this production, and it was the whole story behind it. It's just from 1925, the fact that, you know, as early as 1990s with the Goosebump TV series,
yeah,
we're still seeing it, so that's really
it's just, yeah, it's something that is referenced a lot of times, and even to now.
Music is the gift I give to you. Let's see the gross half of your face. Come on. Let's see the gross half of your face so I can get out of here. That nose better be piggy. Shut up. You shut up.
So, I mean, that's saying something. A movie that old still holds up its worth, so, yeah.
There with you. My number 5! Now, I did say any rehashes, any revisit of characters is on this list. My number 5 goes to Dracula Untold. Ooh. I really, really liked this take on the Dracula story.
Sebastian Shaw does make a good movie.
Sebastian Shaw, there you go. Hand me the witness, Toretto! But with Vlad the Impaler, the story, the legend behind Vlad the Impaler.
You can find out why he's called Vlad the Impaler.
You see it, it's very gruesome. Also having new powers of Dracula, the new origin of Dracula, and seeing how from that time, the medieval time, going all the way into our modern day. It was rumored to be the beginning of the Dark Universe. I wish it was.
So do I. That movie, although it is seen that it's done kind of poorly now, I feel like that movie would have been a stronger start to the Dark Universe than The Mummy.
Definitely. Number 4 on my list goes to The Wolfman. But I would have to say, just because I find it, even though it is a revisit, the 2010 version, I really liked the effects in that movie. That was one thing that the transition for the original Wolfman was just 2 images fading in on one another. But actually seeing like the bone crunching as the extension of the toes and the fingers, it was really cool.
Brings back American Werewolf in London.
Yeah, it does. It really does. And so that's why on my list I put The Wolfman, the 2010 Wolfman.
So, my number 4 goes to 2014's Dracula Untold. And like Thomas has already said, that movie is just, I really wish that had kicked off the Dark Universe because I thought it was solid. You know, yes, it does have its quirks here and there, but overall, I was really entertained by that movie from beginning to end. I thought it really makes you feel for Dracula. Not only does it make you, it tells you, yes, he's a monster, but it tells you why he became who he is, and it just gives you a new perspective on this new Dracula that was being told to us. My number 3! Well, like Thomas said, all Universal movies are included. So my number 3 goes to 1999's The Mummy, starring Brendan Fraser. Literally for the longest time when I thought of Universal monster movies, I thought of Brendan Fraser fighting Imhotep. It's such a good movie just to like bring back, like it's such a nostalgic movie for me. It's just like, I'll watch that movie and I'll just be like, this brings back memories.
It's a good movie.
It's a good movie, and like, I don't know, it's like Indiana Jones
meets mummies.
Yeah, it's take all the Nazis out of Indiana Jones and put them with Imhotep. That's what you got.
There we go. My number 3 goes to 1954's Creature from the Black Lagoon. Yeah, so that was just the fact that this movie was made, I think, is incredible. The fact that the actor who played the creature had to be able to hold his breath for 4 solid minutes underwater in order to get those shots. The fact that we even see shots underwater is incredible for 1954. The actors in this movie are great. The fact that it was a very, very small set, but it created this world where we do feel like the creature can be anywhere. It could be, and that's why in the sequel, the creature is among us.
He's in New York. I mean, San Francisco.
It's San Francisco. Yeah. And so that's why I put this, because it's, for me, a movie has to not only rely on your suspension of disbelief, but also has to just push beyond that. How did this happen? How was this movie made? And that's where the Creature from the Black Lagoon really resonates with me. Number 2 for me goes to 2004's Van Helsing.
Van Helsing!
I love this movie. I love the portrayal of werewolves in this movie, the portrayal of vampires,
portrayal of Hugh Jackman.
The portrayal of Hugh Jackman. Oh, this is just a wonderful movie. I think it is such a shame that they're going to try and recreate this in the Dark Universe, because this movie is wonderful as a standalone movie. It creates a universe altogether. The concept of Dark Universe, I truly believe, tries to come from Van Helsing. That Van Helsing brought all these creatures together. We saw Frankenstein's monster. We saw Dracula trying to use Frankenstein's monster to create a horde of vampire babies. It was just so like, what the hell? But all these creatures were together, and it made me so happy. I loved it. And in the end, spoilers, well, I mean, the movie's been out for more than 10 years, so spoilers, but Hugh Jackman becomes a werewolf and fights Dracula. Oh, it was so cool. So amazing.
My number 2 goes to 1931's Frankenstein.
Oh.
You know, the classic Mary Shelley story.
Mm-hmm. Come to life.
Yeah, come to life, yeah. And it's just, you know, obviously you've heard the story. If you go to Universal as much as we do, you've heard the people telling stories how Boris Karloff, right? Mm-hmm. Couldn't
show his face
because it was like too scary for people to just, you know. And like if you think about like compare that to now, it's just insane how like just a man in like green and is terrifying to people. But Nevertheless, this movie really holds up its value to this day. Like, I will still go out and just watch Frankenstein just because it's just that good of a movie. It's definitely different for its time, and I think that's what I really like about it. But it's just classic. I guess that's what I can say is it's a classic.
Classic.
My number one has a soft spot in my heart because it's just this monster and this movie are just, they're there. And I've promised my brother here that for his wedding I'm gonna go dressed up as this monster. And so this movie that hits my number one is 1954's The Creature from the Black Lagoon. And like Thomas said, it's just amazing that they could create this world in such a small set. It's amazing that an actor can hold his breath that long and it's really just a suit. There was no like scuba tank or anything. It's just him holding his breath underwater for that long, and it's just awesome. That's really what I think of this movie, and there's a soft spot in my heart for it. Got a big poster of it in my house.
I wonder who got you that poster.
Yeah, some dude. I stole it off some guy. Yeah.
My number one, because of what it means for cinema today, my number one goes to 1931's Dracula. I think that without this movie, we wouldn't have Hannibal Lecter. We wouldn't have the characters like Norman Bates. We wouldn't have the characters who are very charismatic, that are charming, but deep down they are so sinister that they will literally devour you. That I think the best part of this movie is that Bela Lugosi doesn't blink once. He's not blinking once. You never see him blink. That's freaking crazy. That's creepy, and it's inhuman, and that's what makes it so great, because Dracula is not human, but still there's that charm attached to him that's like attractive to his victims. And that's what every character that's been that sinister, that's been that smart as Dracula, as the Count himself, they're basing it off of this portrayal. They really are. And the fact that 1931, more than 80 years ago, it's still held as the best Dracula movie. At least in my heart.
So, that's our list. As always, we want to hear from you. What are your favorite Universal Monster movies? Let us know down in the comments below. If you want to follow us on Twitter, what do?
You follow us at TLE Tweets!
And if you want to follow us on Instagram, where you gotta go?
You gotta go to TLE Pics!
That's what's up. If you enjoyed this video, give it a like. Subscribe as always. Come join us. You're gonna have a good time.
Yeah, you are.
As always, I'm Josue.
I'm Thomas. We are boys.
And we outie.